714 to 727 is a pivotal time. 1779, where it says Spain, and over here to 1779, they actually hit the same number. It's really interesting because if you go into these numbers, I'm still looking into them. Like if you add 4 to 1883, it'd take you to 1887. That's when Geronimo surrendered. If you add 4 to 1909, it'll take you to 1913, 1914, the beginning of World War II. If you go to 1939 and add 4, take you to 1939, the beginning of World War II. And if you take 1987 and you add 4, takes you to 1991, and it's the beginning of the Middle East conflict, which ended up at 2001, the 9/11 incident. This wheel of time is set up so that in 99, when the Toltec Empire ended, the Hohokam came into power, which is this purple part right here, and Hohokam lasted all the way up to 1259, and at 1259 they lost power. The Anasazi came into power. They were in power all the way to the Aztecs. These two are connected apparently. The Aztecs lost power. When the Aztecs lost power, Spain came into power, and Spain came into power until 1779. And guess what happened in 1779? America came into power. And then we come up to America over here, to this point over here, which is basically how this wheel of time works with the rise and the fall of empires.
Oh wow, that's crazy because it's like there's one group that's there, and then there's another group that's there.
Equal mathematically.
Another group there. Another
It's all
group
laid
there.
out. What happened with Anasazi happened in Spain. What happened to the Aztecs is going to happen in America. It's
Well,
really weird.
what I think is interesting too, it kind of reminds me of a sine wave. So when you get to, we have our one read 52-year
Colleen,
count.
the serpent is a sine wave. But anyway, we got to wait short time.
Okay.
Somebody's cutting us off. Some devilish person out there is cutting us off early, so we have to rush this thing here for the big baby. So here's the 351 computer I was talking about earlier. I was bragging about. This is how I figured out the 350-year cycles based in 13s. I'll go into that some other time because we're rushed right now because somebody's rushing us. So we got no choice but to rush. The 180-year cycle, the 1859-year keratin event, and how it's added to 11.25 and then to total sum to 11.25. Till you go from 1859 at the Karen event, and you use that calculation all the way down to there's that 1904, 1949, 1994, and then you get down all the way down to that 2027 and 3/4 date where we're coming up next year, the last 11.25 solar cycle till the 2039 to the next keratin event, blap, on this side, the 180-year cycle, one cycle. Two long cycles, 877.50 and a 1,080-year cycle. Now we got one cycle, two cycle, three cycles. Takes 180 years, from the current event to the next. I already talked about this one, how people lose power from the Toltec, Maya, Anasazi, Spain, U.S. tribes, and finally to Merca down here. And then now you got the 351-year solar cycle, which I did for the bottom part of it, which is this 960 plus 351, which is the Anasazi 1337 date. 1307 plus 351 gives a 1688 date, which is when Spain fell out of power. And then a 1688 plus 351, 2039 again. There's the third solar cycle there. It's going on here. And now over here, wait a minute, it's the fourth one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. This is 5. 180 years times 3 makes the 540-year cycle, which is why the Gobekli Tepe handbag has 3 bags. That's each 180, 100, 180 times 3, 540. 3 lines on a Olmec bag represents 542. All of this is from 4981, which is the number I showed you on the chart earlier, from way back on that solar moderate, 4981. 4981, all the way those 540 cycles, every one of them, all the way to 2039. Now we're getting into the meaning of the handbags. Handbag means the same thing as the Pueblo Bonito storm layout. It equals 180 degrees half circle. There's 135, 90, 45, and there's 0 degrees. And one handbag equals one solar cycle, storm cycle, which is what one handbag means. One handbag, one handbag. And then Olmec, 3 lines on the handbag, which is over here, represents the 540-year cycles. And 3 handbags, like at Gobekli Tepe, is 180 times 3, which is that right there, represents the same thing as the 3 lines on the Olmec handbag of 540 years. So this is how this all relates to here. Now this, I hate to do this because it's going to probably ruin the tourism and probably ruin everybody's, fantasy about New Mexico and, the Kokopelli, romantic flute player, and he's colored in pink and blue in Santa Fe and all of that stuff. I hate to tell everybody, but Kokopelli, the ancient humpback flute player, represents a 180-year solar storm cycle. How do I know that? The geometric entities let me know. What is a geometric entity? It's 2 triangles together like they have on a pipe or a crow tobacco pipe bag, beaded pipe bag. Each of those triangles represents 90 degrees. And the other triangle represents 90 degrees. 90 times 2 equals 180. 180 is that cycle that I was telling you about, full solar storm cycle. And look where its line is pointing to, right to the sun. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines coming out from that sun. So it's telling me there's an interaction between Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars that's going to cause the flare to come out. How do I know this is a solar flare? If you look at Kokopelli, not this way, but there's the same design as what's here. See, same thing as Pueblo Bonito. And count how many feathers he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And his flute, where he blows out the solar flare, is 11. There it is. All laid out. Everything that's tied to what's going on, to the Zia symbol and its 16 rays, everything that's tied to the 260-day sacred calendar, which is over here and there, everything that's tied to the Maya Ketan count, which is over there, everything that's tied all to the beginning, what I showed you with the 180-year cycle, are all tied in to the same event. Class dismissed.